Food is beautiful. You're so gorgeous.
Thanks, babe. My
You're
hair
welcome.
is in my face.
I love it like that.
Flannel gang.
Flannel gang. Gang, gang.
No,
I don't think I can say that
No.
on YouTube.
I don't know. Can you?
I don't know. You ready?
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the R&R podcast. As usual, I'm Ryan.
I'm Renee.
If you don't already follow us, go ahead and give us a follow if you want. Like, subscribe. We appreciate the support. All of our links are typically down below in the comment description. Today, we're going to finish covering, or we're going to segue from our last conversation about unhealthy relationship signs. We covered half. We're going to go ahead and cover the other half on this gorgeous afternoon. So if you want, Renee, kick us off.
Kick us off.
Kick us off.
All right, so we're halfway down the list. We're at number 13. This one is very self-explanatory. You feel drained in your relationship.
Drained.
Not in a good way.
Not in a good way. I definitely feel drained in a good way with you.
Oh my God.
Ayo.
But yeah, you feel drained, like you run out of energy. You just feel
Low energy.
like they're an energy vampire almost.
I know several people like that. Dude, those are like the people just in general, everyday life too. Like
It's
they
just
come into
all
the room, they
interaction.
suck the fucking air out of it. You're like, whoa, watch out. You
Yeah.
know, just they're horrible people. You know, people like that are completely negative for no reason.
You feel you need to recover
All
after
the
you've
time.
interacted
Yeah,
with
all
them.
the time. Just every time you're around them, your whole day's ruined. Absolutely ruined.
Yeah.
It's the worst when you're in a relationship with somebody like that.
I get that way with overly pessimistic people because I am a very glass half full person.
Yes, you are.
I am always positive. It's just how I'm wired. So the people that are the opposite of that, like they have, like I have a solution to every problem. They have a problem for every solution. Those people drain me.
I think, that's a good point. I think that's why
It's like really
we
steamy.
oh, hey everybody, NC State. I think that's why we get along so well though, is because we're both problem solvers. Sometimes you need a little bit more time before we tackle a problem, and then
Yeah.
I want to kind of dive right in, and solve it like immediately. And sometimes we're not ready to do that.
Sometimes I want to scope out the solutions
Yeah.
first.
And I like to think about them ahead of time.
That's
before
just
they
a
even happen.
personality
Yeah.
difference,
Yeah.
which we'll talk about that in
Oh,
another
we're-
episode.
We will.
So yeah, I think,
Energy vampires.
Energy vampires.
Get rid of them.
Get rid of them.
If they're costing you your peace, they're costing.
Don't get rid of them. Just
they're
remove
costing too
yourself. It sounded kind of violent.
Or kill. Yeah.
Sounded violent.
It did? Okay. No violence, everybody. No violence.
No violence. This is a violence-free podcast.
Oh, I don't know.
14. Your partner is always offering constructive criticism even when you don't ask. Ouch. I wouldn't even say they're offering. They're just doing it.
Yeah.
They're like nitpicking you.
Openly nitpicking. Openly criticizing everything you do.
This is kind of like earlier when we had mentioned like always finding something wrong with each
Yeah.
other.
It's just like in the way somebody does something. There's nothing worse than you're just going.
You're just existing and they're trying to tell you how you could be better.
Yeah, well, this is like, this goes along the lines of like masculine men not wanting a hypercritical woman. It'll just never work. It's somebody that's around you constantly telling you the way that you fold your socks or put dishes away or wash a dish.
And I did that to my ex
Well, but
because
it's at the end
there
of
was
the-
a huge lack of masculinity.
Right, but at the end of the day, who fucking cares? It's
Yeah.
getting done, but it's just like you're just wanting it to be done your
But
way.
it was all bothering me.
Right, no, totally
And
understandable.
that's the problem.
Yeah,
though.
totally understandable.
It was
but
just a
if you
incompatibility.
had more of a compatibility with that person and you had more, you're gonna have more patience with somebody you want around.
Yeah.
So it's
And there are things in our relationship that like now I think they're like little cute things.
Mm-hmm.
But in my last relationship, I would be pissed about those things.
Ooh.
Because we weren't compatible. So like I found little shit wrong all the time.
we do have a lot of patience with each other. Things that I would probably usually find annoying with you, I'm like, but it's not. They're not anything major.
Like they're just like to me they're like, it's cute. Like it's like little silly
I'm
things.
just a cutie pie.
Yeah, you're a
like,
big cutie.
Who's gonna be mad at me?
Just a baby.
Just a baby, little baby man.
A little baby man. I bet no one knows about that audio
We're
at all.
going to introduce everybody to Little Baby Man. The link will be in the description.
Oh my God. Now you're going to have to find the time to add that to this. Anyway, number 15. You don't feel like yourself around them. That's huge.
Big.
You should feel like the fullest version of yourself with your partner. And I can say that now because I feel like that with Ryan. But in my other relationships, I did feel like almost like I had to hide parts of myself, or like they weren't appropriate for that relationship.
What do you think is the biggest example of you being able to be yourself in this relationship versus something else? Like, what's something small?
Okay, like I can sing around you.
Yeah.
I have never sang around any other ex.
You have a very pretty voice.
Ever. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you do too.
Thank you.
Well, I never felt comfy singing around them. And I knew they would accept it and they would accept me, but like I just didn't feel comfy.
The comfortability.
Yeah, or like you know, some of those relationships I didn't feel. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just got a lot going on
stuck
today.
in there today.
What is
there we
it?
go. It's just a hair in your eyelash.
Oh. They're like feather dusters. They like grab everything.
All them dust bunnies.
In my other relationships, I almost felt like I couldn't do stuff on my own. Like they wanted to tag along always. And with me and you, we have very healthy individuality.
Which I love.
So it's part of who I am is being like independent and doing stuff on my own.
What's crazy
sometimes.
about that to me is I used to be that guy in those relationships that I really wanted to be around that person all the time. But then I've realized over time that it's like, because that's how I felt like a relationship should be.
And that ruins the attraction.
It does,
though.
but then like over time I realized like, you know what? I really enjoyed doing things on my own, but that was only after I had the time to really set aside and value myself again and find things that I loved. And like, because I was just doing everything with them because I was so afraid to be by myself.
And you didn't have that self-identity.
Exactly.
So we talked about this the other day.
Yep.
You had to take the time and do that healing on your own and learn who you are.
Men, take the time. I promise you it's worth it. Put that pride aside.
If you
guys.
haven't seen our episode about attraction in a relationship, watch that one. You know, like learn who you are
before you get
so
into
you
something
like
else.
to do stuff on your own.
Yep.
But yeah, you know, just not feeling like yourself around the person. Like, are there parts of you that you feel like you need to hide, or do you have friends that you feel like you can't bring your person around? Like, why are you hiding them? You know what I mean? Like,
Major
what
red
are
flag.
you
Where's
and
my red
your
flag? I'll
what do
use my
you and
shirt.
your yeah, that's a red flag.
Wave it.
Like, what do you and your friends do, or what do they talk about that you can't bring your spouse around? Like,
Good.
is it something you're not accepting in yourself, or are you guys actually just being inappropriate and you can't bring your spouse around? You know, like you feel like you have to hide that.
Yeah, no good.
That's just, it's all around shitty. So if you don't feel like yourself with this person, you're not compatible. Number 16, they don't bring out the best in you. Goes hand in hand with the last one.
It does. If you are just a bad, if people around you, the people that you go to work with, the people that are your friends with, your family, everybody else, if those people are saying things to you like, what's your problem? Or like, why are you so fucking mean? Or like, why are you being rude to me? Like, you're just typically just a worse person. Because I've been that way. You take that to other people and you project. Because those are typically people you feel safe with. It's like a child, you know, they push the buttons of the parents because they know that they're safe there. But it's like, as adults, we do that a lot and we don't even realize it. You know, we're constantly projecting onto the people that we know aren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, and then the family members and the friends and everybody that's close to you, your loved ones, are like, yo, what the fuck is your problem? Why are you coming at me like this when this is not who you are? You know?
Yeah.
It just bleeds into every other aspect of your life.
Yeah. Yeah, like they trigger you, they get under your skin. You know, you just always have this like grumpiness about you.
Yeah.
Or you
irritable.
I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about it in our episode about signs that you're in a good relationship.
Yeah.
But if you don't feel like in love and like skipping out of bed and like being a better person, then they're not bringing out the best in you.
Right. You wake up dreading it.
Yeah. And I'll elaborate on the positive end of it.
I love the wind. It's like we're in a music video right now.
It's actually driving me nuts.
Dude, you look so good. Invisible harassment is what you call it.
Yeah, I call
You're
wind.
doing so good though. I'm actually really proud of you. She
invisible
hates
harassment.
wind. I'm so impressed.
I'm like,
Normally you'd be kicking the chair.
wind does not bring out the best in me. Number 17. You don't have a positive feeling about the future.
That's a damn good one.
Damn.
That's a damn good one.
That's a good one. And that
I have been there.
that was pretty much all my other relationships.
Yeah, same.
Like I hate saying my last one, but yeah, like I never pictured the big picture. I couldn't.
Yeah.
You know, when people ask you that annoying
Day to day.
question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I wanted to punch them in the face. And I'm
No
not a
violence on the
violent creature.
podcast.
I said wanted to. I didn't say I did. No, like I didn't want to think about the future. 'Cause
I get it.
that
It's
hoping
scary.
they would change someday. Like I never saw it going anywhere.
Well, if you're on the opposite end of the spectrum of it, like I was, like, you know, that person never giving me reassurance that they were there for the long haul.
that they would be there in the long haul.
That they would be there. It's like,
they had
okay,
one
well,
foot in and one foot
now
out.
I'm dreading always every day because I'm like, is today the day I lose this person? Is today the day that I have to be the one that experiences the loss? You know, it's always like, what's next? What's next? And I hated that. There was nothing worse for me with my analytical brain than the unknown.
Yeah, you don't do well with
Than
that.
the unknown.
A lot of men don't.
I can't do it. I just can't do it. I just don't like it. I got to know like what's coming.
Yeah.
Or else, you know, it's
Yeah.
a bad one.
It's not a good one.
No.
But yeah, if you think about your partner and you can't imagine, like if you're somebody that wants to have kids and you can't picture it with that person, you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
If you can't picture, like if you're somebody that believes in marriage, if you don't see yourself marrying them, what are you doing?
Yeah. It was like
If
when
you
my
don't-
grandfather passed, and you know, I just, for some reason, you know, I kept thinking about him and my grandmother being together 60 years. And, you know, I'm only getting to spend a year with you right now, and then like I felt that loss like already, like what would it feel like if I lost Renee like right now? And it just like it cut me so deep to even think about like even a little bit of time without you. You know, it just did not sit well with me.
I mean, we're bummed that we're meeting in our mid-30s.
I know, but
Like we feel like we're missing out on some time.
I know.
You know?
Maybe in the next life.
Yeah, I'll find you.
I hope so. All right, what's the next one?
18. They like to play games.
Fuck games, man.
Oh, can you
God.
explain that a little bit? Because I don't understand that. so
Games? Okay, you know, I think we're in the older.
I'm not a game player, so I
Well,
don't.
there are still some people in the older age bracket that play games. I got friends, you know.
What
and
do
you
you-
got
what
friends.
is- like-
So like, you know, leading on, or they play mind games, or like women, for example. I can't speak to the male aspect of it.
Yeah, what does that
But
mean?
like for a female to, you know, lead a guy on, or, you know, there's always that trouble with dating where these women always want the men to be like these unicorn type creatures that will never measure up to anything that they could ever, you know, be. Like, for example, a woman's like, you got to be 6 foot and, you know, have a 6-figure income and like all this other stuff, or they just are immature and they are constantly
Like they're
going through
insanely particular?
yeah, insanely particular, or
Is
they
that
just
game
play.
playing?
They just play mind games. You know, like think back to when you were younger. Well, it's not you because you're just such a genuine person. It's so hard to put into perspective. But like people that use other people, like they don't actually care about being into a relationship. They're just there to fuck around and find out later. You know, they just play games with people. They play
Like they
with,
know they're non-committal, but
right,
they
exactly.
pretend to be
like,
dating or
yeah,
dating
or
so
just
they can
anything
sleep
like
together.
That. Yeah,
And
anything like that, where it's just actually the Dunning-Kruger people, like where they just assume that they're one way and then they portray to be another way, and they just play games with people. It's just
like duping people on
duping
purpose.
people on purpose, being narcissistic,
Playing the dating field,
Right.
like dating multiple
right,
people
multiple
secretly.
people, you know, whatever. That's hard to expand on because I haven't experienced that in a long time. It's hard to think back to it.
Well, I have a girlfriend who, you know, like she was really into this guy and they were kind of casually dating and they started to fall for each other, started to get serious. She would stay at his house all the time. He ended up ending it with her and being like, hey, I'm sorry, I just don't want to be in a serious relationship.
Stupid shit like
Immediately
that.
got back with one of his exes and they are like serious now.
Yep. Playing
You went
fucking
through
games.
it's a game.
Yep,
Okay, so
playing
I get
games.
that.
That's more. I see that more with like. I don't know. It's hard to say. I see.
I think the biggest game people play is if you really just want to be with your ex, just be with your ex.
Yeah.
Like don't play around with somebody else's heart in the middle when you're trying to figure it out.
Yeah. No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Next.
like when you're dating somebody and you're like, oh, I think we should see other people to make sure we actually really like each other. Like, let's experience contrast.
No, sir.
You know all about
yeah.
that.
Next.
Yeah, it's stupid. Okay, next one, 19. Your partner never remembers your schedule. This one drives me. This is one of my pet peeves, and
Yeah.
we'll have one about our pet peeves. I don't have a lot, but that's one of them. You're pretty good about it. So I'm like, babe, that's why we have a calendar.
I'm sweating. Okay, yes, I will agree. But it's not because I don't remember your schedule. It's that you are a very, very, very busy thing that goes and has a lot of stuff going on. And then I have my kids' schedule.
Oh,
and
I
have
don't
my-
expect you to remember all the dumb things.
But I remember your day-to-day schedule, like what's going on. So like certain times of the day where like I know I
Yeah.
can't really reach you, or I don't blow you up.
You know when I'm going to be walking the dogs.
Right, like
you know
I
around
know
when
your
I get up.
I know your day-to-day routine. But it's like if you sometimes your week with work, with makeup or anything can be so busy.
It's random.
I'm like, okay, was it 2 to 4 on Friday, or was it 1 to 3 on Thursday?
That's just, yeah. One of my exes was a school teacher for years. And his parents, they would call him on a friggin' Tuesday, be like, are you working today? He'd be like,
Right.
I am a school teacher.
Right.
How do you not know school hours?
Right.
Like,
Okay. That's not
That's
super
just-
important. That's just.
But that's
just
like blatant, like, disrespect.
Right, you're
Not
just-
disrespect, but just being an airhead. Like,
Right,
if
yeah.
you don't know school,
Oh, a celebration.
we're sitting next to a gender reveal. Is it a boy or a girl? Can you tell?
I think it's a girl.
We're
Aw,
pleasantly
that's cute.
distracted.
It's okay.
They look really young to be
They
having
do
a
look
baby.
really young.
Huh?
Oh, it's a baby boy.
It's a boy?
Yeah, it's a boy.
Oh, that's so cute.
Cute.
Oh, anyway. I say anyway a lot. You should have like a bell, like the anyway bell. Okay, so there's that. If you don't remember your partner's schedule, make some efforts. You know what I mean? Like,
effort, guys.
I have like 3 different calendar apps, and like you can share them, like whatever. Number 20, they're always blaming other people for their problems.
We talked a little bit about this lack of accountability. We can kind of
Yeah,
glaze over
lack
that
of
one.
accountability.
If somebody won't take responsibility, and if somebody is not used to accepting responsibility, accountability will always feel like an attack to them. They just
Yeah.
they'll never be able to be like, it's always them clutching their pearls and acting like they just
Yeah.
I could never. You know, it's just like it. But you do. But you. And it's like that has nothing to do with anything we're talking about right now. Just accept the responsibility.
They deflect everything.
Apologize and move on. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Next.
21. Your partner is super competitive with you. Oh, I hate that.
That's one we're going to cover in the cooperation versus competition one.
Okay.
But
let's just touch on it a little bit.
okay, so
I actually got to go in a few minutes, so.
oh, that's right, you do. You have
Yeah.
that appointment. Okay, we'll cover that in the next one then.
That's a good one though, competition. Number 22. You feel
Well, they can just never be happy for you. Like no matter what you achieve,
Yeah,
they're
they're
never
jelly
fucking happy
about
for you. Or it's
everything.
like, oh, well, okay. Or like I call them the green mushroom. Like they've always got a one up. They've always got
Green
a
mushroom?
yeah from Mario. They've always got to one up you.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, dude, can you just be happy for
Yeah, they
me?
have to one
because
up.
it affects both of us.
Oh my God. So really quick. So I did my last bodybuilding show. I'm never doing it again. I don't recommend it. In 2018, it was right before my birthday, and my ex at the time, we had just broken up, but we were still cool. He was gonna go to the show, right? And I don't care if he hears this, because whatever. He was gonna come to the show anyway, and I guess he was jealous that I was doing a competition, and he was a part of Toastmasters, like speech,
Yeah.
and he was the head of Toastmasters. I guess he was doing a Toastmasters competition that day. He scheduled it because he was jealous that I was doing a bodybuilding show. So I hadn't drank for a few months, and I wanted a little sip of tequila after my show. It was a late birthday present. I was like, bring me a bottle of tequila. He showed up to the show. I didn't know he was going to come. He was trashed. He drank most of the bottle. Somebody else drove him.
You piece of garbage.
He acted like a maniac at my show. He was so jealous. And I found out later that he got drunk because he was jealous that everybody had attention on me, and I won the show, and I had a trophy, and my parents were there. Acted a fool. And I was like, this is perfect confirmation of why we're not working out. We laugh about it now. But,
yeah, absolutely. That's all you can do.
So yeah, that was very,
a good one.
jealous, competitive. Number 22, you feel like you do all the work in your relationship.
Yeah.
That's pretty self-explanatory.
Next.
23, you're always making excuses for their bad behavior.
All the time. Remember we talked about character flaw versus something you can fix. If you're always like, well, he's just this or she's just that,
You're covering for their insecurities. Oh, well, you know, he just doesn't want me to look this nice in public because...
Dude, we have a friend like that.
God damn.
It's like just acknowledge the fact that your
they
man
suck.
is absolute trash and he doesn't respect you at all, and he's insecure, jealous, and he doesn't deserve you. It's that simple. There is no excuse at any point why you have to be verbally or any kind of other abused
or pushed down
to punch down. We call them punch downs. Like, there's no need to be punched down by your partner because they're insecure about the way you look because you're getting attention.
Yeah,
and it's not even like she's not even looking for it.
Never make excuses for your partner trying to dull your shine.
Fuck that.
You know, like, never make excuses on their behalf.
It's like the people that are in abusive relationships, like, oh, it's just the one time.
This is the next. That's our final tip.
Oh,
is the relationship is borderline abusive.
Okay.
In many ways, it could be verbal. If your partner is just that insecure that you have to change who you are to swaddle their insecurity, that's abuse.
That's a good one.
And we should.
Yeah. I'm gonna shout that one. Yeah.
We should have a whole podcast on that.
That's
alone.
a good one.
Like, you know, shaping your behaviors around their insecurities that they're not willing to work on.
So you can coddle them.
So you can coddle them.
Just to make sure they're okay.
Just to make sure. And you think that's not a form of control? It is.
Absolutely. No. Well, I think that's about it, right?
Yeah, that's it for this one.
Well, thanks again for tuning in and listening to us just yap on about stuff that's important to us. Again, if you guys haven't, like, subscribe, drop a comment. You guys can reach us on Facebook, Instagram. All the links are in the description. And thanks for joining us today on the R&R podcast.
Thank you.
See y'all.
Bye.
Bye.